Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wild West Van Life. I'm just sitting here in my van. I'm broke down at the moment. So, anyways, I the last time I spoke to you guys, I was sitting at a park doing breakfast in Calgary. So I did my breakfast and I did some run around, but the smoke was so extreme. I couldn't take it anymore. My head was hurting really bad. My breathing was getting difficult, and with how hot it was, I was like, well, do I keep risking it and staying here? I don't have air conditioning in my van. So it was just too much. So I decided to leave. I headed back to Grand Prairie, and everything went great. I have to give credit to the van. It did 2,000 kilometers. Um, I had no issues. I had a little bit of grease, or I'm assuming grease, coming on my wheel bearing on my right front tire. Probably got really, really hot and not having the right grease. It was leaking a little bit. I cleaned it up and it hasn't come back. So when I did the trip back to Grand Prairie, it was fine. So I was like, and I drove the van pretty a little hard coming back. I was exhausted. I was tired. I was tired of being sweating. My breathing was bothering me. My head felt like it was in a vice. There was so much smoke in Calgary. I had to get out of there. So I turned around, came back, and thankfully my van. The next day I get up and I walked around my van and I could smell gas. So I looked underneath. Here's a little puddle underneath my van. So I was like, okay, and I checked it out, and it's leaking out of the fuel line to the fuel pump, the return line. So I took it off. I covered myself in gas. Like I had my front end of my van on a downhill slope on a steep driveway, and I turn around. Of course, me just tired, wore out, wasn't thinking. Normally, I pinch off the line so stuff don't come out. But anyways, I did pinch the line. Well, when I pulled that hose, it flowed out like you wouldn't believe. I was covered. My chest, my arms were soaked, and my pants. And all I was trying to do was just get the hose back on. And when I finally got it on, I was a mess, of course. So finally, the brain kicks in, and I decide, well, you know what? I'll go in. I'll get some rags. I'll go in the house. I'll get out of my clothes because I could feel it burning on my arms and stuff, and got cleaned up as best I could, and I was like, okay, well, I'll go back out there and I'll try it again. So I turned around and I crimped it off, took the line off, and it looked kind of rough around the edge where the crimp clamp was on. Um, I don't like those clamps. I'd rather the screw ones you can actually tighten up. But anyways, I squished the clamp and I took it off, and I cut the hose because there was extra on it. So I cut the hose and made it all better. Put it all back, and I put a hose clamp on it that you can screw, and also uh, doubled up beside it the original clamp that was on it with the pliers. So I doubled it up, put it back together. I started the van. Everything was great. There was nothing leaking. I thought, okay, that's great. Quick fix, you know. And no, I was wrong. Um, I wiped it all up, and everything was dry and it was running. So I took it across town, and it turned around, and I could smell gas again. And I was like, okay. So, anyways, I stopped, looked. I didn't see anything on the ground, and so when I got back to my son's house, I parked it. Said, heck with it. I'll deal with it later. I come back out and it was all soaking wet again. I was like, well, So I looked around the seep hole of the fuel pump and it was looked like it was coming out of there. So I said, I ran the van pretty hard coming back. Some of the mountain hills, like, needless to say, I wasn't as long as I went when it took me to get down there, because it took me 24 hours to get there. Taking my time on the way back, it took me 8. So I was pushing a little too hard this old van, but it took it. Everything was great, but the next morning when I got up, there's the fuel problem and everything. So, anyways, I tackled it again. I checked it out, and sure enough, there's a big puddle underneath the van, and I was like, so now I'm broke down. I called all the parts stores in my town, and of course, no pumps in Canada. It's like, oh, okay. So, anyways, I finally, one of the parts stores tracked me down a pump. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully it's not going to be the wrong one. But the problem is, the one he found has been sitting on a shelf for a very long time, and the diaphragms in those things, from sitting too long can be vulnerable. But whatever. I'll take anything just to get her up and going. So that's what I'm waiting for now. It's supposed to be here in the morning. But I will say this. That was 2,000 kilometers. And the van never let me down. And it got me home. Back to Grand Prairie. And then it broke down. I'll take it. I don't have to worry about a tow truck. I didn't catch on fire. And so at the end of the day, all is well. It's a cheap part, but I tried to look for one on Amazon, and thanks to the tariff war that we got going on, the part's cheap, but to pay for the delivery is over 3 times the price of the part. Thankfully, my one part store found me one, and it's only gonna be I think it's like $60 some for the part and no delivery charge, which is great. So I just hope it's the right one. Mine's the 2 line, and some of them are 3. And I was talking to some people about what can I do if I can't find one, and they're like, well, if you get the 3 hose one, you can just close off one of the holes for the 3rd one, just cap it off or whatever. But I don't want to get into all that. And then another one I had was a different style. It's still bolted on the same for a different setup for a 350 engine, and I was like, again, no, I don't want to mess around. I just want the one that it calls for. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm just waiting for this part. And I'll take you for a little walk around here and show you what's going on. Oh, bang. Nice. That felt good. That felt real good. Okay, so it's funny. When I'm sitting in pause before I start recording this, I can flip this camera back and forth. And when it's in motion, it won't let me. And I don't, for the life of me, understand what I'm doing wrong. So if anyone of you want to comment and tell me what I'm doing wrong, because it's, there's no icon, and all I got to do is just scroll back and forth on the screen, and it's supposed to flip. It does it perfectly fine in stop mode, but as soon as it's recording, nope. But anyways, I guess I'll go the other way with it, and hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm dealing with here. But I'll show you what's going on here. So there's my fuel pump. Oh, it's all dried up now from the air, but it's leaking right out of the bottom of the fuel pump. The frame's all soaked. The bucket's filling up. And the stink of gas is brutal. But anyways, I will spray the heck out of it and clean it up and hose it all off when I get the project finally done. But that's where I'm at right now. I'm sitting here waiting for a part. The only one that could be found in Canada. You would think these old V8 350s, there'd be a whole bunch of them. But I guess I'm going to be getting the last one. So I just wanted to update you on what's going on. That's where I'm at right now. I'm broke down, waiting for a part. But at the same time, I'm at my son's house, and it'll give me a chance to do up all my laundry. And I want to go through a lot of my van supplies and straighten it all up. And once I get this part on, then I'm hoping to go possibly Grand Cache way. I'm not sure yet. I don't know. See what's going on with the van. It's running great. Um, like I said, it's a trooper. It got me 2,000 kilometers, and I never put one bit of oil in it. I thought for sure on the way back, running her really hard, I thought for sure it would lower the oil a bit. Not doesn't need any. It's right on the full mark. So I'm very happy about that. The transmission shifts fine. Everything's fine that way. The suspension is bagged out on the back. I have to do that someday somehow, but I just don't have the funds to deal with it right now because just to get the spring leaves is going to be like $1,000. And then I don't know. I'm not really would classify as well enough to install it myself. Um, my son is. It's very hard for him to have the time off to help me because he works. To get into a project like that is like it's not easy, and to hire somebody in my town, you might as well just go buy another rig because they would not do that cheap. So I'm not sure, but I put air shocks on it, cheap ones. But again, if you pump them up too much pressure to try to lift the arse up a little bit, then you're taking a chance of bashing out the frame pockets where the shock bolts go through. I don't want to smash that out. And if you don't go with enough air, well, then you're getting into all the load is on the poor shocks then, and that's no good either. You know, they're new, and I don't want to ruin them right away. So I have a slight leak there too. I don't know what's going on with that because when I spray the little airlines supplies to the nozzle, it's so small. But anyways, and the fittings are so small. But I sprayed it with soapy water and everything, and I can't find any bubbles or nothing. But when I drive it, but every 2 days I have to put a little bit of air back into it. So I only put like 10, 20 pounds in it every couple of days. But I gotta get that one figured out too. But I just don't have the money to buy more shocks. And I need leaf springs and everything else is pretty decent. So I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do on that part, but to put my belongings in here, in my fridge and stuff, and plus the original interior in here is heavy enough. The port van is just sitting pretty low in the back. Ride's nice, but the mud flaps keep dragging on every driveway you go into and stuff like that. But I'm still happy about getting home safe to Grand Prairie. Blows my mind because if that pump would have went on the way down or down there, the money would have cost me to tow this thing back or try to fix it on the side of the road. And knowing that I wouldn't be able to get a pump, I would have to tow it or go to a Junkers and find a used one that's been sitting for who knows how long, drying up. And the diaphragms in them, they're so delicate that it don't take much for them to just blow out. So might have been fine part, but putting it on another rig and trying it out. So I don't like going to use stuff. I don't. It's always been proven to be a waste of time. So, and a new one's pretty cheap anyway. So that's what I'm doing, waiting for parts. and then hopefully I can venture somewhere else again. Our winter is getting very close, so kind of looking forward to that a little bit. I'd like to make some videos of some snowy days or wherever, hopefully. And that's the other thing. My diesel heater that I have in this thing that I installed, it's working, but it's last winter it was throwing codes left and right. It kept saying it was overheating, and it was brand spanking new. So I took the whole shield off and just left it completely exposed. It's inside my sink cabinet. There's no back wall to the cabinet at all, so it's wide open at the back of the van. So it's getting air. It's got the air pipe for fresh air outside. Um, I have that underneath the van. It's clean. It's good. In my exhaust, of course, whatever. But I don't know. It just kept throwing the same code last winter. I'm not sure, but I would just restart it a couple more times, and then it would go, and then it was fine. But it's funny how you always tell yourself you're gonna deal with things when the weather is good, and you make out a list and you say, okay, well, I'm gonna do all these things before the winter comes again. Well, the winter's just around the corner. I never dealt with that, so I'm gonna hopefully it'll do me fine. But if not, I have another one. It was in a previous van that I had. I bought it, put it in that van, and I never really got to use it hardly at all. So it worked good. So I have that as a backup. Part of me wants to, because it's still good weather, switch them out so then I don't have to deal with this later when the weather's cold. But I don't know, one day at a time. All I know is now my weekend is ruined. Waiting for this part. It's a terrible feeling when you don't have any connections or you don't really know anybody and you're sitting here vehicleless. I'm one of those people that hour by hour I start to get cranky, and at the end of the day I'm still thankful that I made it all the way here, but I still hate the feeling that I can't just get up and go. But hopefully tomorrow, the part that comes will work and get me up and rolling by hopefully late afternoon. And then if everything goes well, I'll try it out for a day or two, see how it all goes. And if everything's good, well, then I'll pack the van back up and go down the road again and see where I can go this time. But the direction I'm going this time is going to be a lot more hills. So the old van's going to get a good workout before the season's over. I'm determined because this van, I had to do so many things to it to get it up and mobile, and it was a long process. When you're not working and you don't have the money, it's like it takes a while to generate anything. So thankfully, with my son or whatever, I got help a little bit with that. So he made it possible for me to go down the road this time. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, I just wanted to update you, let you know what's going on, and I'll make a video when I'm up and rolling. And so till then, take care, everybody. I'm alive and well, and we'll see you soon. Please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And like I said, if you want to leave a comment and maybe give me some pointers on the capping off the 3 line, because part of me was wondering if I should be going with electric pump. I know I had friends over the years that went that way, but they always had a situation where they take their girlfriend and they go into the city to go to movies, and boom, they're in the parking lot trying to get this electric pump going all the time. So I always cringed upon those setups, but I don't know. Maybe it is a way of looking at it. Um, I don't know a whole lot about that. I haven't really done it. It shouldn't be too much, and lots of YouTube videos these days of everything, so I'm pretty sure I'd learn it pretty quick. But if any of you want to put in a couple comments of things you know or something like that, feel free. Um, I don't have very any real subscribers yet because this is a brand new channel. Nobody knows me yet at all, so hopefully that'll change. But until then, take care. We'll see you soon, and I'll let you know when I'm up and go. Bye for now.